Hello and welcome. Today we are going to learn about the basic of S3. S3 is a storage service of Amazon Web Services. We are going to learn the first step of S3. Video objective for this particular session is to create the S3 bucket and upload an object inside the bucket. And the second objective is to give a public access to the bucket and object so that it is publicly available. You can download, the user from the internet can download from anywhere. Before we move, let's try to make a basic concept understanding about the S3. S3, full form of S3 is a simple storage service. S3 is AWS offering under storage category. S3 supports object-based storage over the RESTful web service, which is HTTPS protocol is being followed. End-to-end, the transport is completely secured. It's encrypted using the SSL certificates. Object, how to define the object is a key value pair. Object is any name that you assign, and you will have the same name to use while you are interacting with the S3. That means the operation like retrieval, which is get operation, update, which is put operation, or delete, which is the delete operation in the HTTPS RESTful. So while doing such operations, you have to use the same object key. Object value is in fact a stream or the content of the file. The file that you are going to upload or store in the S3 bucket is the content of the file, which will be taken as an object value. Object can be of any type. There is no barrier about the file extensions or the file type extensions. It can be any text file, binary file, image file, video file, etc. Objects are stored inside the bucket. So bucket is a logical container which groups the similar object together. So if I have a couple of objects which represents configuration, I'll create a bucket and give a name which will represent the configuration. But one thing is very important. In the AWS, the bucket names are uniquely identified across all the different AWS accounts, regardless of SEO account or any different user which exists in AWS. So if a name that you are trying to give to bucket, if it's already used, you will not be able to use the same name. So you have to add some additional prefix or suffix to the bucket name to make it more unique. The reason behind is when you are accessing your objects, the buckets has to be unique into the URL. So it has to be URI, basically uniform resource identifier, so that S3 can locate your bucket while you are accessing or your users are accessing your bucket or object from the internet. All right, so let's jump into the lab and we'll try to complete these two objectives: creating the bucket, uploading an object inside it, and second, we'll give public access to the bucket and object, and we'll download the object and see that if we can download it. All right. So for that, you have to be logged in to the management console of AWS. There are two different ways additional to this also to interact with S3. They are like a CLI. AWS CLI is a command line tool that you have to install on your system if you want to use the CLI to interact with S3. If not, if you're a developer, then maybe you prefer to use the SDK, System Development Toolkit, or Kit, which is a bundle of libraries from the AWS, which you can download from the AWS and integrate with your IDE and do the development. All the APIs are inside the library, so you can refer S3 for instance, APIs, and then interact. So you can create a bucket, delete a bucket, upload object, update object, delete object. So such operations you can follow with the SDK, or regardless of any of the channel that you want to use. So for our example, we are going to use the AWS Management Console. I'm logged into my account. I'm using a specific region over here. So this is my Mumbai region. So S3 is a global service, but while it is created, it has to be into particular region. So that means the storage has to be created in the specific region. Otherwise, the service is globally accessible. So once you are here logged in, you will see similar screen like this. This is the splash screen, you can say. And on the top left, you can see the services from where you can locate the storage. And there's a topmost service in the storage S3. So you can click over here, or if not able to locate some of the services, then in that case, you can type. Okay, the moment S3 service is loaded, you will see this region is changed to global. That means this is globally accessible. But while I will create a bucket, it will ask me to set a region. Otherwise, it will take my default region. The first screen you see in the S3 is the buckets that is already existing. So these are my buckets which are already created, and the listings are here. So 4 buckets, and they exist in 2 different regions. The top 3 exist in Mumbai region, and 1 is in North Virginia. So I'm going to create a new bucket, which I'm going to give a name as a AWS config. This is the region where this bucket will be created. So I'm keeping it Mumbai because I am from India. So this is the nearest place for me. And suppose my all users are also from India, this will be less latency for them to use it. But AWS promises a very high throughput and least latency, replicating it in a different availability zone, not in a region, but different availability zones. So, but yeah, still, I'll go for a low latency, keeping it in as closer to my geographically closer to my place or the user's place as well. And then go forward, just click on next. So this is the problem. This bucket is already taken by someone. So this is the uniqueness I was talking about. Your name of the bucket should be very, very unique. I'll try to append today's date, maybe. So I'll say it. It supports the versioning, logging, and lots of other security and stuff like that. So we are not going to touch them as of now, but very important concepts are like a tagging. So if you tag them, you're grouping them to do a lot of things, like you can take a billing summary, user summaries. You can also apply some of the common changes if you want in tagging. You can also apply accessibility for using the IAM role if your tags are created well. So we'll learn in a different sessions, but as of now, it's not a scope for this session. Very important topic to give attention over here. So this part, if you see, this is by default strict security. So the public access control list, the access control list is made check completely. So this means this is blocking the public access. So no one from the internet can access this bucket right now, except me, who is the owner of the bucket, and I can access directly from the account. But if I want to access the same bucket from being in the internet, it would be tough. I cannot access. The only way is to access being the same account. So what I'll do is I'll just remove this checks. So security for the bucket accessibility from the authorization accessibility perspective are at the level of ACL and the bucket policy. So there are two different layers of security which applies. So the first one is ACL, where you create a list of the access control and then say that what kind of read write permissions are given or not given. And then you have a bucket policy, which will be applied per bucket. And this is more granular because this can apply at the bucket level and also at the object level. So you can choose a bucket to bucket and object to object to keep more granular security. So as of now, I'm removing all of them so that this will be making my bucket accessible in the internet. There's not the right way to do, because all the time you don't need it until unless this is a very public hosting thing. So that means if you are having any release which has to be community release, which should be available to everyone, until unless there is a situation, you will not be opening all the security for them. So there are other way to adjust it. So let's focus on the simple use case. We are just making this public because we want the all internet users to access my bucket and download the content. Next, we'll just escape and we'll see that our bucket is created. So this is our bucket. As of now, the bucket is empty. So let's upload some content. So I will upload any of the data as of now, whatever I'll have the folders. So I'm checking the sample table, which is the CSV file. This is the configuration or information which I'm keeping inside here. So it will take a little bit of time. Yes, so this is done, and you can see my CSV file is uploaded. But as of now, this is not public accessible, which means if I take the URL and try to hit it into the browser, it should fail for ability. Suppose I'm taking this and going to the internet browser and hit it, should see the access denied. So that means the bucket level permissions are there, but object level permissions are still not set. So what we have to do for that? Be successful. So once this is successful, and now if I go and refresh it, the content downloading. So this is done. So, yeah. Next is so you can also directly download from here. So this is the URL that you will give to any of your user, either through your static websites or some way, so that they can download this configuration and start using it, if this is meant to be public. If not, then we'll set the granular permissions in our different sessions. Thank you for now. Additionally, I want to also leave you with some of the additional information. So this is the FAQ for the S3, which you should go and read out. And there is a nice tutorial which will make sense for you to go ahead, have a look. If you have any question, please leave questions in the comments. Thank you.